Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Welcome, AKM Fazlul Hoque and all our audiences to our second episode of Prattle with PhD. Today we'll prattle with AKM Fazlul Hoque. He's a government official back in Bangladesh and pursuing his PhD at Central Queensland University in Melbourne, Australia. So, welcome, Fazlul Hoque. Uh, in this second episode of Prattle with PhD. So I have given you a brief introduction. However, how you would like to introduce yourself to our audiences?
Walaikum Assalam. This is AKM Fazlul Hoque. I am basically a microbiologist. After graduating from the Department of Microbiology, University of Dhaka, I joined as a senior laboratory technician, microbiologist in International Center for Diarrhea Disease Research of Bangladesh, ICDDRB at Motlop Station. Then I joined as an assistant commissioner under Office of the Deputy Commissioner Nauga as in Bangladesh Civil Service Administration cadre. Started a different journey. I worked there uh, nearly 4 years. Then I had been transferred to Office of the Deputy Commissioner Kishoreganj as a senior assistant commissioner. I worked there almost 1.5 years and then promoted as a Upazila Nirvahi Officer, Juntapur Silet. Uh, in the meantime, I have had been offered as a master's program from National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies, Tokyo Grips, Tokyo, Japan. I did my master's program. That is a 1 year master's program in public policy arena, and then came back to Bangladesh and started as an assistant director administration and training in Bangladesh Institute of Administration and Management Foundation, that is BIAM Foundation under Ministry of Public Administration. Later I did another masters on project management in University of Greenwich, London, UK, and come back to Bangladesh and started as a Deputy Director Planning and Development of BCS Administration Academy under Ministry of Public Administration. And at the same time, I was pursuing for PhD on my desert area, on public policy arena. Especially, public policy is a vast arena, but at the challenging aspects of public arena nowadays, that is for Bangladesh case, that is on development sector, especially for highly intensely concentrated sector for Bangladesh, that is power and energy sector. So I choose that sector because of I have some interest on project management, especially for big project management. That is why I'm doing PhD on this arena. This is a snapshot description of myself.
Thank you for your detailed introduction. I think you have another master degree from Bangladesh in population sciences. Is it right?
Yes, that is right. I didn't mention that because that is not streamlined in this public policy arena. This is to some extent different arena. At that time, I was thinking to develop to strengthen my career as a as an international uh, expert in population and development expert. That is totally different area. That is why I didn't mention that one. You are right.
Okay, thank you. So you have actually four masters, as I see.
Yes.
Masters in microbiology, population science, public policy, and project management. So, what was the motivation behind going for PhD? Usually, government official don't go for PhD, The trend is increasing, but what is the motivation behind starting PhD?
Yes, you are right. Having PhD is now is increasing in demand in Bangladesh. It is in demand because government activities need such kind of expert and also expertise of the specialized people, because earlier government did such kind of activities through consultant, but doing all kinds of activities regarding development, finance, financial management, project management, contract management, all those are very technical area, but their technical area should not be dependent on only on the foreign or our native expert. That is not that is out of the government concern area. That is why government has taken a project on strengthening BCS cadre officials to have master degree and PhD on that specialized area. Definitely, it's a it's an opportunity for the BCS admin, not only admin cadre official, but also other BCS cadre officials to enhance their capacity, knowledge, efficiency, and also attitude towards development, to incline into the development arena of our administration. I think it helps to formulate not only in policy making, but especially such kind of knowledge and skill is needed for uh, policy implementing, supervision, and also monitoring. That is why uh, skilled and efficient work resource, especially workforce, is needed to do such kind of technical expertise. For this reason, government has taken a right decision to enhance the people to having a master degree or a PhD.
Okay, thank you for elaborating on the reason why demand for PhD is increasing in the government sector, civil service section. So, if you would like to tell the little bit specifically on your PhD research project, what is the title or what is the specific area?
My specifically my research area is private sector led power generation in Bangladesh, an examination of PPP model, especially in Bangladesh, that is IPP model. That is one kind of PPP model, that is independent power producer model, just to promote private sector power generation, because it is very known to all over the world that private sector is a workforce in power generation, transmission, and distribution. In Bangladesh now, contribution of private sector in power generation is 43%. It's the lion's share. Number of power plant in private sector is 88. Number of power plant in public sector, that is only 57. So number of power plant is increasing in private sector. So in Bangladesh, private sector is a have played a very good role in not only power sector but also other sector, but private sector government have formulated a specific policy to enhance private sector investment, to enhance private sector participation, to bring their expertise to the development arena in the public sector.
Okay, thank you. So, as you are working in the energy or power sector, especially public-private partnership, so mm, what is the scenario of power sector, present scenario and future scenario of power sector in Bangladesh? You see,
Yeah, Bangladesh is now is a very trying. I think that it's a very development stage in case of power and energy sector, especially for power sector, not in energy sector, because there are some lagging in energy sector. You know, energy sector exploration and extraction of domestic resources, especially for gas and coal, coal, uh, is there is a big question. Our expert says that gas is depleting within 2031 and coal is untapped due to government policy. So for this reason, energy sector is different. But if we think about the annual development plan for the development of power sector, that is very much encouraging. In before 2009, it is only few thousand uh, crore, but now it is more than in nearly 30,000, 27,000 crore taka is invested for power development of power sector. So power sector is doing very well. In the meantime, power generation capacity has been increased to 20 more than 25,000 a megawatt. That is 25,325 megawatt. Though our power generation is only 13,792 megawatt, but power division, Bangladesh Power Development Board, Power Cell, those who are involved in enhancing power generation capacity and also power generation activities, they are doing very well. Definitely, I think that credit goes not only to public sector, not only to the private sector, but both public and private sector credit should be gone. For this reason, our generation capacity is almost 6 times increased if we compare with 2008 or 7 of our generation capacity. So it's a very glorious time for Bangladesh after independence.
Okay, that's a good news. That's a good news for Bangladesh. But I have another question. That is, our power generation capacity is increasing, and if I understood rightly, that it has increased 6 times. But what about the demand of power? Is it increasing accordingly?
Yeah, there is a question. According to the Power Sector Master Plan 2005 and also 2010, uh, power demand has not increased. There are some reason. Number one reason is that industrialization has not improved, has not increased as forecasted. That is a big reason. Another thing is that power generation capacity, all government contracted with the power generation capacity or power plants to enhance generation capacity. For this reason, uh, due to national, international investment, lacking of investment, so our industrial sector has not been attracted foreign investment or local private investment. Uh, that is the main reason our demand side has not been increased. But nowadays, if we think about the industry, big industry, deep seaport, airport, and also commercial, big shopping malls and commercial areas, big industries, in rural areas, uh, some entrepreneurship has already been grown, so demand has been increased in future time. But electricity is not a commodity; it cannot be increased overnight. So we have to be ready electricity for the people. People can use it at that time. For this reason, capacity has been increased and demand has not yet increased. But in future, it will be increased gradually, and they can consume that the generated capacity and enjoy that facility. And
So I have another question about the power sector. This is very important sector for the development of any country. Uh, so primary energy source for our power sector uh, are mostly imported. So what is the impact or implication of that one on our overall economy?
yeah, you rightly mentioned a very important question and very crucial question for the Bangladesh, because primary energy, specifically if we think about such resources on the gas and coal, uh, due to depletion of gas and untapped of coal, government has to depend on imported fuel. But global fuel market is very versatile and vulnerable because of regional, global, and also inter-country relationship. Other factor is also involved there. It cannot be controlled by one country. like a developing country like Bangladesh. So government has to find out multiple sources of primary energy, because so availability of primary energy should be ensured for continuation of power generation. Without primary energy, no power. So management of primary energy is very crucial, and for this reason, government has to now think a days on renewable energy, a little bit hydro, trade border, power generation like India, Nepal, and also Bhutan, and also to some extent government thinking for constructing big power plants like baseload power plants and also nuclear power plants. So primary energy should be primary energy policy should be formulated by the government considering all those risks and challenges. Now yet no standard fuel policies is formulated by the government. It is a very crucial area. Definitely government is thinking on these issues. So for my connection with the Ministry of Power Division and also uh, other office of the regarding those, so government is thinking on those crucial area. That is why government is importing FSRO LNG from some other countries. Without without importing primary energy, it should not be possible to generate power. So long time dependence on primary energy definitely affects with the finance, with the economy, with the development of our country. So dependency, if dependency is increasing day by day, it may be affect our economic development. It may be affect our financial capacity. But if we have the capacity to explore our domestic resources, then we can minimize all those. Uh, I think creating, exploring our domestic resources, which helps to generate power within a within a smooth functioning. I think it will helpful for the country.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. But for the audience, general audience, I want to you to clear something. What are the primary energy sources for energy generation, and from where Bangladesh usually gets this primary energy?
In Bangladesh, primary energy source presently consuming 58.15% is from gas, coal is almost 6%, and the rest of the part is furnace and also diesel. That is 24-25%. Only 6% is government importing from the neighboring countries, India. So main source is gas, coal, and also imported fuel.
Okay. Uh, on this topic, I have the last question about the pricing. Okay, price is important. That is in at the consumer end and at the bulk energy production. According to the Consumers Association of Bangladesh, that power tariff increased by 80% at the consumers end, and that of bulk by 118% since 2010. Uh, so, what is your opinion in this case, in case of uh, pricing?
Power tariff has been increased several times by the government. It is it is not the concern not only for Consumer Association of Bangladesh. It is concern from other party also, so consumer in consumer ends, and from also from industrial and also commercial plants. Bulk price is also increased. That is also true. It depends on the, because the generated power, price of generated power or tariff of generated power depends on the primary fuel. Only 70 to 75% cost consumed from primary energy. The rest of other things is management, governance, and all those area cover. So price of the primary energy, if it is available from domestic sources, then price definitely will be go down. It it continues for importing from global market. If global market is uh, global market is volatile or price is so increased, then it will affect our economy. It will affect our power tariff and price. So now, as early as possible, it is the necessity of the government. It is the necessity of the country people to think about how price should be maintained within affordable limit, and quality power should be ensured by for the industry and also commercial area, because nowadays industry use captive power. Captive power is some power which some power plants which they constructed and they produce power for their industry, not for others. If they have excess power, they can produce, they can inject it to the national grid. So industry usually in Bangladesh do not depend on the government or public sector power or grid power. They depend on captive power. So more energy is generated, then this dependency is decreasing. And also, if we utilize our own resources, then price will be down. Otherwise, if it goes longer time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or year after year, then if it will affect the price of our yeah, tariff, power tariff for the consumer ends, and also bulk tariff for industry and other purposes.
Okay, we have good share of knowledge about the power sector of Bangladesh. Now we'll move little bit on prattling about PhD. You have masters from Japan, master degree from UK, but you are pursuing your PhD in Australia.
Right.
Why not Japan? Why not UK? Why you chose Australia for PhD?
Very specifically, I should say that higher education is almost uh, open for English speaking countries, and also it's a limited opportunity for English speaking countries and English language. Otherwise, all kinds of journal and higher um, publication mainly published through knowledge, through English speaking knowledge. It is through English. It triggers me to do my higher degree through English, because if I have to sell my PhD, I have to sell my knowledge, skill, and ability in international arena. Definitely, they will judge, they will offer job, they will. I have to sell in the market. All kinds of things is measured in terms of such kind of removing this language barrier. That is for English. That is why searching for English, number one, English speaking countries, number one. Secondly, such higher degree is offered mainly for few countries all over the world, specialized area, specialized university, and specialized knowledge. You know, power and energy sector is a very crucial sector. This sector, there are some opportunities in Australia. So far my understanding, some opportunities for Germany, and little bit in Canada, and in some USA. So not all universities does not provide such kind of specialized knowledge or higher degree. That is why if Australia have ample opportunity for generating power, they have open power market, they have huge coal resource, they are sufficient in power generation. They and university, uh, almost all universities, all public universities, they have the department for uh, business, strategic business, and also governance management on power and energy sector. This helps me to trigger to searching PhD in Australia, especially for English speaking countries.
Okay, so that is we have found two reasons. One is language, and second is this is there are limited outlet who offer PhD in this specialized area. Okay, so how is life as a PhD student in one of the most livable city of Melbourne? And how is the dynamics going on with your supervisors there?
Yeah, PhD is not a course like master degree or any other degree. PhD is a journey. It's a journey, lonely journey. Sometimes this journey is very much stressful, painful. Definitely, it is expensive journey. It's not cheap journey. Uh, PhD is journey to achieve, in my opinion, in my case, to explore, to know, to realize unknown and known unknown area. Known unknown area, that means I can aware there is a problem, but I do not understand that area. And unknown, I could not and I cannot understand the awareness or what is the problem, and I also could not understand how it can be solved. So it is an opportunity to explore my known unknown area and also unknown area. I know what I do not know, that is known unknown area. And unknown area, I do not know what I do not know, that is unknown area. But PhD gave this opportunity especially for me to realize, to challenge my knowledge and skill potential, what is the level it is and how it should be improved in such a level to prepare for the job. So this journey is not a journey to achieving a highest degree to paid by a highest job. That is not always true, because PhD holder uh, does not having good job sometimes, because job market will be narrower. It's a very tiny field to do someone's work area. So it depends on person and also the subject matter of the PhD. So this journey definitely, those who overcome such kind of journey, definitely they are successful, because these journeys, only one man can go such a tiny path and remove all kinds of pains and also happiness regarding this area. When it is completed, it gives some immense pleasure, but before that, it will tire some definitely. And the dynamics of the supervisor, in my case, my principal supervisor is from Bangladesh, and my co-supervisor is or associate supervisor is from Melbourne. I have I I saw two types of dynamics here. With the principal supervisor, it is very friendly and very social communication with us, formal, informal, both way. We can share our tea, we can share our meal. Sometimes we can talk up even after 10 p.m. No problem, anytime, any way, because culture is the same. There is a opportunity to share all kinds of activities, not only study area but also our inner feelings. So culture plays an important role. And different thing is that my assistant supervisor is from Melbourne. Most of the time, almost 95%, uh, all kinds of dealings mainly focused on our study. We have to mail, we have to fix a date for our meeting, prepare meeting. Yeah, they gave suggestion on those meetings, and finally output. I also gave feedback to them. That is a formal relationship. Informal relationship, it is very difficult to form, because they are so much busy. Uh, they, uh, he is dean, deputy dean of of a large institution of a university. Lots of responsibilities there. They have other PhD student also like me, maybe 7, 8, or 9, 10. That is why it is not very easy for to find with him, to gossip with him, and to spend some time, some leisure part. But in for my principal supervisor, it is very easy. We can communicate. I think that most of the informal time we can use for our formal activities. Sometimes so many formal, so important meeting, we have met 2 or 3 times for informal activities, and that informal time we can use for in a formal way. That means formal means for my study purposes. It helps me definitely. I think that supervisor, role of the supervisor is very important to streamline the students thinking, student way of writing, and also to proceed to finish a PhD thesis. It helps us, it helps me.
So, what are the scope for future PhD students, especially from the government sector or civil service of Bangladesh, in your university or in other university of Australia? What will be your guidelines for those, especially from the civil service who wants to do PhD in similar project or policy related project in Australia?
Yeah, Australia has a vast opportunity to do PhD in different public, very good public universities. Uh, my message to the PhD seeker is that having a PhD on any subject is not a good idea. Having a PhD, those who have a very knack, very interest, and also very understanding level, and also relationship of that subject, that is needed. Otherwise, finding a subject, do a PhD, spending some 3 or 4 years, and getting a paper of your certificate, it doesn't mean anything. I think, in my view, if knowledge and skill which we have acquired during this PhD, if it is necessary to utilize for government policy formulating, policy executing, and also monitoring supervision, then area should be focused. Area should be specified and narrowed down. Otherwise, it is a, I think that spend lots of very important time. Government will not be benefited. Country people will not be benefited. Doing PhD or having a PhD for 4 years with the spend of government money is not a small deal. I think it's a very big deal. It's a commitment to the government. It's a commitment to the people's money. It's a commitment myself to do something for the people, for the country. So area uh, should be specific, and there are some, not all area, because Australia different university have different opportunity. Not one university cannot employ all kinds of opportunities. In case our my university, Central Queensland University, they have very specific university, there is specific opportunity for business and strategic business area, and also engineering, especially for electrical and civil engineering students or officers, those who wants to do their higher study. So not only Central Queensland University, but other universities in Melbourne, Queensland, Sydney, New South Wales, Western Australia, there are lots of universities. Uh, any officer who is with keen interest on that area, which area is crucially needed for Bangladesh. And in that case, only that case, I emphasis on this issue, the government and country will be benefited.
Mm, thank you very much for giving this very important message that we should not spend government money or any other money and our time just to have a degree or just to write doctor before our name or PhD after our name. So I would like to know the source of money. Um, for example, uh, what is the source of money for your PhD? From where you're getting scholarship or fund for your PhD?
In my case, I got a scholarship from Bangabandhu Science and Technology Fellowship under Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of Bangladesh. Specifically, it is government fund. Very frankly and very candidly, it is government fund. Government encourages student to do something for science and technology related to public policy for development arena. So one part of scholarship, big part, I think that it will be almost 75 percentage of my total scholarship is provided by Bangabandhu Science and Technology Fellowship under Ministry of Science and Technology, and another 25 percentage uh, is provided by the Seiko University. That is, this I am talking about the living expenditure, but total tuition fees, all kinds of health insurance, travel, other expenditure, all all covered by the Bangabandhu Science and Technology Fellowship. In Australia, uh, Bangabandhu Science and Fellowship is little bit lower than the average scholarship amount. But when I got the university scholarship, then it will be fine. It will be a standard scholarship to live here, to stay here. My life will be very easy now. It is not a problem to do study and to concentrate uh, me for such kind of uh, tedious and also laborious work as a PhD. So I am so grateful to the government, Ministry of Science and Technology, and Bangladesh Science and Technology Fellowship Trust for giving me such kind of opportunity.
Mm, okay, that means the money provided by the fellowship from the Ministry of Science and Technology of Bangladesh uh, is not enough to cover the living expenses. So you have to manage scholarship from the university also. Uh, am I right?
Right, right.
Okay. And um, so that is one factor. It will not be easy for everyone or in every cases to get a top up scholarship from the university. So is there any other way for our managing living expenses or earning money within the academic area in Australia?
Yeah, there are other opportunities for Bangladeshi officials, either public sector and also corporate, private, even also defense officials. They can enjoy Prime Minister scholarship, which was introduced maybe so for 2019. Uh, since 2019, it was functioning. It's a very good amount. The student can apply for that one. And second thing is that if someone who is interested, still interested in Bangabandhu Science and Technology Fellowship Trust and Fellowship Scholarship amount, at first, because there is a developed country, there is some expenditure in especially for Melbourne and also for Sydney. So far, my knowledge in regarding Australia, it is better to find out other sources, partial scholarship, right down to the university, and also seeking for partial scholarship for other funding agencies. There are other funding agencies all over the world, and even also in Australia. Some scholarship, maybe 5 or 6 months, maybe 3 months, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 year. There are lots of opportunities who is offered for the students of the respective university. In my university, I have seen that there are some opportunities for Queensland campus, Queensland University campuses. Some opportunities often for Melbourne students, especially for civil or electrical engineering students. There are lots of opportunities. Students have to find out such kind of opportunity. But these problems should be introduced, should be discussed with the supervisor and with the uh, university authority. It will be helpful for a PhD student or a master student to stay here, because staying here is very expensive, and especially for Melbourne. If it's a 4 year journey So it's not a easy task to stay alone. Better to have with the family. To maintaining a family, maybe one or two kids or a without kids, almost it demands some money to spend. That is why government can think, yeah, university can think in such a way. Another way we have tried in 2019 for Bangladesh government, we tried to write some letters. Uh, those who are fellowship receiver, they send letters to the Ministry of Science and Technology, Senior Secretary, Ministry of Science and Technology, and also the Prime Minister of Office, and also Trust Chief Executive Officer. We knock some other, uh, we knock all those arena, and sometimes at that time they have in little bit increased their in the scholarship amount. It is a good hand. And later, I think that all the almost all corner, not like Australia but Europe and also other areas, those who are fellowship receiver fellow, they can write later to the authority, especially for Bangabandhu Science and Technology Fellowship Trust, and also Secretary to the Ministry of Science and Technology, and also Secretary to the Prime Minister's Office, even Pradhan, even Prime Minister. Then it may be increased. I think it will be, if we are satisfied to make understand regarding those expenditure issue, then it may be helpful for the fellow.
Okay, that's good suggestions for the future uh, mm, PhD aspirants. So I have one complimentary question is here about the money, because money is important, especially when it's a journey for PhD, stressful journey, as you said, lonely journey. If there is shortage of money, then it becomes more difficult. So, is there any teaching assistant ship uh, to earn some money? In one way, you are doing some teaching. Well, you are teaching, you're learning. On the other hand, you are earning some money to make life easier. Is there any opportunity in Australia or in your university?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is possible in our university and also other universities, but it is not fixed. It is not certain. You maybe get or you may not. I availed some opportunities as a teaching assistant in our university, sometimes research assistant with my supervisor. Sometimes I did some research work for my supervisor, and he gave and it was paid. So research assistant or teaching assistant, or sometimes some work was provided by the university authority as a PhD student, like uh, just conducting exam, some introducing master student. There are some other activities, but that is not fixed. That is not certain, and there are other PhD students also. So as a PhD student, money is a big factor in such kind of expensive city, costly city. So continuous flow, a fixed amount of money is helpful to concentrate in study. It will be helpful. And then other source of money may come. It may be an added advantage, but a fixed amount of money which to maintain a standard life, not highly standard, but standard life in a livable city, in a standard city, that will be helpful for the student to more concentrated, more attentive in his study.
Mm, yes, this is important issue. We need continuous cash flow for a smooth life in PhD, and if we can earn some extra money, that may reduce the stress more in this journey. And now I would like to have few more questions about the PhD journey. We have around 15 minutes time. Question is about how is Australia for Bangladeshi future PhD students in terms of whether Bangladeshi community, availability of Bangladeshi community, and living expenses?
Yeah, you have raised a very good point. In my opinion, Australia is a better place to have a long time education, especially I'm thinking on PhD compared to Europe, Australia, Europe, America, and also Canada, because of uh, everywhere there are Bangladeshi community, but because here weather is very good, I think that there is not too much cold, not too much hot. Uh, Weather is very good considering all the year round. I think only few months there is a little bit colder, and only 1 month maybe it is summer. Though summer length is 3 or 4 months, but actually summer is 15 days. If we say summer, because we have to wear summer jacket in summer, and that is why there is no summer. Maybe 10 or 15 days there will be summer temperature, maybe 35 over 35 to 40, 1 or 2 days over 40, maybe 42 or 41. So it's not a big deal in Melbourne. So Melbourne is the education hub all over the world. So those students who are seeking PhD in a renowned institution like Melbourne University, RMIT, Monash University, Queensland University, some other universities in Australia, I think that it's a very good destination to enjoy time. And community in Bangladesh, I think that there are lots of communities here, not only for PR and citizens community, but there are some others community who can uh, make fun, who can come together to do something very good for the kids, for the students, and they are very much helpful. Whenever I seek help from others, Bangladeshis, from any corner in Melbourne, each and everyone is, I find each and everyone is very helpful. Maybe most of them I do not know before came to Melbourne. I do not know their identity. I do not, I only got their mobile number in Melbourne. And someone, I have to find out mobile number through net because of some organization, because of some, for example, I got a mobile number from Quantum Foundation, a senior quantum graduate, and then I call her, and she responded, and she invited me uh, to join some program. So it's a great opportunity, I think that. uh, but some such kind of opportunities also available in Europe and also America and also Canada, but weather is definitely good. Only if one attractive point for to come to Melbourne, one is quality of education, second is weather. I think it is very good, and third is it's the international, completely international hub for education.
Okay, now I have some technical questions. That is, if someone wants to do PhD in Australia, uh, how he should proceed? Uh, Contact with the university or contact with the specific person as a supervisor? What should be the first step?
In my opinion, it is better to communicate with the professor at first. That is the main and only one thing. When professor will inform the authority or university, then student will apply through proper channel. But professor is the main thing. To, I think that it will be helpful for each and every student to find out the area and communicating with the expert office, with the supervisor. That is the first and foremost idea. And there are also other opportunities. Someone can directly communicate it with the authority, and sometimes authority will employ one professor to supervise some students, but that is different. uh, because field, subject matter, or interest, specifically for keen interest for having a PhD, long term study, area of interest, and expert of that area, that means I mean supervisor is badly needed, is crucially needed. So communicating with the supervisor is first and foremost in this regard.
Okay, yeah, that is the point. Supervisor is the most important. So we have to choose the supervisor, not end up randomly with someone. So we have to do some research on supervisor with whom I want to work. That is better from my experience also. Another technical question is there any specific time that you have to apply for scholarship, or application can be sent throughout the year?
Mm, there is no time limit uh, in general. In general, there is no time limit. A student should at first seek professor, seek area, seek that find out that area of interest and also the supervisor, and write down to the supervisor. When supervisor agree, then application may be submitted. But there are two or three intakes in each around the year for intaking students. So office when office get the application, then they can match with the either February session or maybe September session. It does not. So time but does not affect someone's interest. Anyone can apply, searching for professor, searching for particular area. It is very open for Australia's case, so far my understanding.
Okay, yes. So anyone can submit after initial agreement from the supervisor. Anyone can submit application anytime, and yes, there are two formal time limit. For example, in May. So by May, someone submit the application that will be considered for the scholarship. Result will be maybe published in June, July, so that the student can start the mm, PhD in August, September. And another deadline is there, that 31st of October. By this time, those who apply, their application will be mm, considered in November, December, usually before the Christmas. And student usually goes in January, February. But application can be submitted throughout the year. And there are many other scholarship other than postgraduate scholarship. For example, there are vice chancellor scholarship and some industry scholarship. So depends on that one. We are almost at the end of our session. Thank you, Fazlul Hoque, for your time, sharing important insights, especially your interview. Your information will be helpful for the civil servants from Bangladesh, those who are thinking for PhD, especially in Australia. Now, another technical question is part, as we have already mentioned, that PhD is a lonely journey, stressful journey. So, how did you manage stress? How did you manage the stress? Uh, did you go for exercise? Uh, is it included in your routine as a tool for maintaining good physical and mental health? Because there is a report that during the PhD, uh, people become vulnerable to mental health problems. So, how did you manage the stress?
In my case, I manage such kind of stress and lonely journey. It is better to communicate and to find out someone to share your pain and also stress other than your supervisor, not your only your supervisor. Number one. Second one is find out own comfort zone. Maybe watching a movie, maybe it is exercise, for example, running, walking, or maintaining a yoga, or uh, sometimes uh, going for a travel, arranging for a travel. I think that all kinds of activities like watching movie or watching a football game, uh, some funny activities, and also I think that exercise, maybe it is indoor or outdoor, because it's a long journey. It cannot be confined or isolated from the other people. uh, have fun with other people, say something your problem with, but at least one people you have to find out, maybe your wife, maybe your colleague, maybe another PhD student, maybe your very close friend, who can you can share all kinds of uh, pros and cons, good and bad, stress and also your discomfort to him. Then it will be manageable, I think. But uh, another thing nowadays, it is very helpful uh, in my journey. That is exercise and also meditation. It is very helpful for PhD student to maintain a stressful life, a stress-free life. And because when I have a problem, I have to go outside. When I have a problem, I am walking, and it may be helpful. Someone is also interested to do something for shopping. Maybe someone go to shopping from one shopping center to another shopping center and buy something, spend some quality time with family members. Sometimes long time talk to oversee call with with family members, parents, brothers, sisters, or others. Such kind of stress may be relieved. But traveling, meditation, exercise, these three is very good medicine. And another good medicine for in myself, that is reading books out of your study area, maybe your concern area, maybe your happiness area, maybe your comfort zone area. Just reading books, not related to your PhD, not disturbing your PhD, just your concern, your desire, your just spending some time. Because such kind of reading acts as a medicine for to relieve your stress, to relieve your pain. It helpful.
Um, thank you for sharing your insights. I think this information will help other PhD students and future PhD students. We have only 1 or 2 minutes. I have one last question. Last question is: you have experience of higher study in Japan, Asian country, and UK, European country. Now you are in Australia. Mm. So, what is the difference, or what is the specialty of Australia or Melbourne? You would like to point out in comparison to Japan and UK?
In my view, quality of education, I think the research activities, Australia is good. I think it is to some extent better for me, uh, compared to other countries, especially for Europe and also for Japan. Melbourne is a livable city, and also education zone all over the world. I think not only for Australia. So anyone who have get such kind of opportunity to come to Melbourne, it's a great opportunity to improve someone's life, to add something, to add some value for someone's life. Uh, in the meantime, though it is English speaking country, but here is a vast area. People can move from to and fro here and there. It's a big country, so traveling is a great opportunity. If anyone make such a company, I think that life will be very easier here in Melbourne, especially for Australia.
Okay, thank you very much for your 1 hour time to share your experience
Mm.
about your lonely journey of PhD. We hope to talk in future after you finish your degree, but I hope your experience will be helpful, especially our civil servant officials back in Bangladesh in their future PhD journey. Mm, so thank you for joining. Mm.
Yeah, thank you, Muniruddin Ahmed Badal, for such a interview and also such a sharing, such a not only interview, just for sharing for our Bangladeshi students, those who are aspirant for higher studies, masters and also PhD, to come to Melbourne or anywhere all over the world. Thank you all those who are also listening, and those who or later maybe got some information from our journey. If it will be helpful for them, then I think that it such kind of time or sharing will be a great opportunity for other PhD students in Melbourne, in Australia. Thank you all.
With that, we are finishing here. Mm, see you in the next episode. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.